Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Today on Afternoon Express, Kurt Schoonraad talks South African comedy. We serve butternut soup, but not as you know it. Jimmy Nevis is styled from head to toe. Empoyer furniture can be cool. Fine tomato and feta tart is a must. Our vet talks rescue pets and what's inside their heads. Then watch out for Dr. Google. Diagnosing yourself is not necessarily the best answer.
Good afternoon and welcome to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. We are so excited to have you back with us right here in studio. I'm Bonang Mateba.
I'm Bonnie Booley.
And I'm Jeannie Dean.
And today we are very excited to have two very awesome people joining us in studio. Starting off with a 22-year-old music sensation by the name of Jimmy Nevis. He's going to be in studio performing for us, so stick around for that. And he's also joined by South African comedian Kurt Schoonraad.
I'm certainly looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We also keep ourselves updated with some handy DIY tricks that you can try at home, of course. We also explore the dangers of Dr. Google and diagnosing oneself. And we love it when you communicate with us throughout the show and tell us what you think, give us feedback. We're on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Afternoon Express, #Afternoon Express.
Yep.
I love you, ladies, but I'm a little distracted right now. True to form, we also have our resident hotties in the house. Remember, if you like our hotties, go onto our website or Twitter and let us know. The good ones stay.
Up next, try our delicious butternut soup with a twist of bacon and chickpeas. But first, Kurt Schoonraad takes stock of 9 incredible years that helped make comedy big in South Africa. Along with contemporaries like Trevor Noah, Kurt's been central to developing the industry as a member of a successful comedy collective. On stage since the age of 10, it's his second home.
A lot like that coloured lunch. It was like, Ursula, why didn't you invite me to your birthday?
Welcome back. This is Afternoon Express. And joining me in the studio today is zany, hilarious Kurt Schoonraad. So you're one of Cape Town's best-loved comedians, and you're the co-founder of Cape Town Comedy Club. How did you get the club to where it is now?
Well, it started off about 9 years ago in that we had a bit of a comedy vacuum in Cape Town and we needed something to do. It was that or move to Joburg. So it was a no-brainer. We ended up starting something called Your Master Comedy Club back then. And that moved around Cape Town quite a bit. And about a year and a bit ago, we moved it to the Pump House in the waterfront. And we recently changed the name to the Cape Town Comedy Club.
Do you feel like we've coined our own brand of comedy? And if so, what kind of brand is that?
For a long time, South Africans, all of us, believed that we were that our product we were putting out just wasn't international quality just yet. It's happened pre-Trevor Noah already. So that internationals started to come here, get involved with the comedy festivals and realize that we had a really bankable, good quality brand of South African comedy. And I'd like to believe it's kind of midway between the English and the American stuff. Quite similar to the Australian stuff. And you know, it's comedy and pain is a very similar thing. There's a fine line between the two. And if that's anything to go by, I mean, we've got 11 official languages. We've got all of the history that came along with it. So yeah, we structured in the perfectly fertile world of what comedy can be.
Would you say that it started out very slapstick?
I don't say slapstick. I think about 15, 20 years ago when I started, stand-up was in its infancy, you know. There was the joke-telling and the guitar playing and the parody stuff before then.
Right.
But with the likes of like Mark Lotterding, David Kau, the Cape Town versus the Joburg thing, more and more to kind of evolve into what it is today. And now it is, just in the club we're playing, our club is in the waterfront. Which means we're constantly interacting with internationals, Americans and English and people from all over the planet. So you can't keep doing the Cape Town, Joburg stuff anymore. You've got to adapt. You've got to keep it real and go international.
When comedians hang out together, do they just make each other laugh? Or are you like, I'm over it, dude, I've heard that joke?
No, it's
old.
The best comedy happens backstage at a comedy show.
Ah.
So all the comics are one-upping each other. That's where the
Toilet
best bit.
humor.
Oh, no. It's all clean, ironically enough. But it's quite intelligent, actually, you know. I know it doesn't seem like it. And there's no toilet humor at all, actually. But that energy the guys bounce about before they get up on stage, because they're all trying to get into shape anyways before they go up there.
Of course.
And you can always tell who's going to be on stage next. It's the guy pacing up and down.
Up and down.
he's up next. Yeah.
Now, your son is 5, am I right?
Indeed.
And if he were to come to you and say that he wanted to be a comedian, what would your reaction be? I mean, would you lock him up in the bathroom with a calculus textbook and the Financial Mail, or...
I'd be tempted to give him all the intellectual stuff and say, my boy, you better get a real job. But I'd secretly be quite proud. Yeah. And he's got a great sense of humor for a 5-year-old. I think he's even been on stage a couple of times. He really loves it. Yeah.
So he's already like got a comedic personality coming through.
Oh, he's got his groove going. Yeah,
we know daddies are very influential. Okay?
A little biased, of course. But
yes, of course.
Indeed.
Awesome. Let's pop over to Jeannie in the kitchen and check what's sizzling.
Thanks, Bonnie. And of course, a little bit later, we're also going to be meeting some of Kurt's favorite family members. Now, Hannah, we're going to be cooking some butternut soup. That is the best thing to ever have in winter, actually.
Yes, definitely. But my one's got a little bit of a twist. I'm doing it with beautiful chickpeas just to give it some substance.
And bacon. Is this bacon?
Yes.
Okay, I've never had a butternut soup with bacon in, so this I have to learn.
Oh.
What is step 1?
So basically, we're just going to put on our heat. Make sure that it gets quite hot.
Peter's already taken care of the heat, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on that note, if you can maybe add a little bit of olive oil, don't be shy.
So the bacon's the first to go in?
Yes.
Probably because that takes the most amount of time, hey?
Yeah, and we want to make sure our pan's nice and hot so it gets beautiful and crispy. If you don't mind to stir that for me, that would be great, Peter. And then we're going to let that cook for about 2 minutes. And then I would add the chickpeas with the beautiful smoked paprika and some chili oil with garlic.
Great. Remember, for all of our recipes and ingredients, visit our website, which is afternoonexpress.co.za. How do we prep the butternut and the chickpeas in the meantime?
Well, it would be great if you could perhaps cut these all the same size for me in the meantime while we're waiting for our bacon to get delicious. And then our chickpeas, I always just use a can because it's just a lot easier than soaking them overnight. This is like a midweek meal after all. So just make sure you drain and rinse them, and then you can add them to the pan whenever you like. You can come give this a stir if you want to get stuck in there. And
of course. Usually I'm the pourer, but today I'll be the stirrer.
Just for now. So we really just got to make sure that it's got about 2 minutes to go.
Okay.
So you just have to be a little bit patient. It's the only part of the process. So the next step, I like to add smoked paprika at this stage. I don't know if you want to give it a little bit of a smell, but it's got a beautiful, like, smoky, like, heartiness that it adds. I normally put about a teaspoon, a little bit more if you want to. Don't be shy.
Ooh,
very tasty. Okay. So you can give it a good stir again. And at this stage, we can add some garlic.
Oh, the garlic. You can load the garlic. I'm Portuguese. It's our national flower.
Yes, it's amazing. Don't be afraid of the spitting and sizzling. That's what we want. We're after that. And then we always have this amazing chili oil that kind of takes all the fuss away from making your own.
A chili oil?
Yes.
Explain that. A normal oil just like
basically a beautiful virgin oil that's been infused with chilies. So it has that beautiful color, which I love. And I'm a chili freak. So
bring it on. Is this going to give our soup a bit of a bite?
Yes, definitely.
Delicious. Ooh.
So depending on how you can handle your spice, just add it according to it. Yes, definitely.
That's my girl. The hotter the better, I like to say.
Perfect.
Okay. So, this is actually affecting my makeup at this stage, so I think we might have to swap roles.
Swapsies. I think I'm going to add a little bit more smoked paprika. You can kind of smell when it becomes a bit fragrant and like the color becomes beautiful and rich.
Yeah.
So I think we're almost there.
So Peter, how's that butternut looking?
Ginny, they're the perfect size.
Okay. We're going to actually take these out because we're going to use this as a beautiful topper for our soup. But as soon as I've done that, in 3 seconds, then you can add all of that butternut to the delicious flavors that are left in the soup. Great, you can add that. Thank you. Perfect.
Smells yummy.
And while you're at it, if you don't mind to add the little tin of tomato paste, that would be amazing.
I will do that.
I like that. It just goes all into the same pot.
Yeah, because you
Saves
want
for
to
the cleaning
kind of,
later.
well, yeah, that too, but you want to kind of make like the most out of the beautiful flavors that are left inside. And while you're adding the tomato paste, I'm just gonna, you can carry on with me. Okay. Cooking's all about getting involved together.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. So we're adding delicious organic chicken stock. It's the kind of thing I like to buy. It's not ready. I don't really have the time, and this one's amazing from Woolworths, so I love it. So we give it a bit of a stir, and now we just wait for it to cook for about 15 minutes or so. And then we can get started on our cherry tomato tarts.
Fantastic. So we'll be checking in on this a little bit later. After the break, though, we take old furniture and turn it from drab to fab. Plus, if music be the food of love, we speak to Jimmy Nevis after this.
Coming up, Jimmy Nevis joins us to talk about his new video. Emboya furniture can be a showpiece, and how about a slice of fine tomato and feta tart?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. Myself, Bananga Genie, are still sitting in the couch with Kurt, but our next guest, very excited to have him in studio. Born and bred in Cape Town, he's fast becoming one of South Africa's most sought-after musicians, and all of this at the tender age of 22. He's a producer, he's a fashion icon. You probably know him from one of my favorite tracks, Hot Boxing. He goes by the name of Jimmy Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him into our studio. Ready to see Jimmy!
Good. Welcome.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
Seat.
Yes, I'm good.
So good to have you here. I mean, look at that smile.
Look at that hat. He's known for those wide-brimmed hats, right?
So gorgeous. Now, something else that you did recently, 7764. You performed it recently, a free concert in a Cape Town subway. First thing I want to know is, when did Cape Town get a subway?
I don't know. We don't even have Metro cards. Don't even have card to prove it.
Explain this. Tell me about your free gig.
It's kind of more of a, was kind of a video stunt.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot of fun, you know. I kind of went to the subway close to UCT as cool graffiti icons, actually, that people I've painted on there, such as Steve Biko, some other greats. And I thought that was such a, I mean, the song is really about, you know, being proud of your roots and being proud of your country. And I just thought that that space in itself said so much. So, yeah, it was kind of an impromptu performance, people walking past, people running. It was just a lot of fun.
Did you have any awkward fan moments?
I did, but it was more, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the awkward moments. So for me, it was fun. You know, if you look closely in the video, you can see me like singing to somebody, hating on somebody, making a noise, you know.
Well, let's talk about icons. You mentioned icons, a different kind of icon, fashion icons. And I've been watching you over the years. I remember seeing you at the Queen's Plate.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, he's got such a unique style. Where do you draw your inspiration from? How do you put your looks together?
Hey, man, you know, I think for me, it's always looking the part when I'm on stage, you know. You must be able to tell that I am on stage. You know, I'm not attending the concert.
Excuse me.
No, but you know, it's such a crazy thing. I actually started performing in pajamas a couple of years back because I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, because nobody else is doing it.
I just thought it was like, you know, I'm a laid-back kind of guy. I'm chilled, whatever.
Kurt, are you so conscious about what you're wearing on stage as well?
I'm conscious about what I wear on stage, but not quite the same way, you know? Also, you know, I'm not a rock star. I'm supposed to look like this, you know? Rock stars clearly rock stars clearly have a much higher standard to attain. I reckon there's no difference between what you do and how you look. It's the same package, is it not?
Pretty much.
All right. Well, talking about your package comes with the Jimmy Nevis music package.
Just say.
It's a family show. Okay, Jeannie, let's bring it back to the PG-13. You're always wearing the hats, and that you absolutely loved. And you know Cape Town is known for its wild winds and wild, you know, just weather conditions. We have a gift for you to make sure that next time you're just maybe running down the promenade, that the wind doesn't get you and your hat goes flying into the ocean.
This was very well thought of, actually.
Very well thought of. So here's our gift to you. We need you to open this because it was created just for you.
Thank you so much.
Now Kurt's sitting here thinking, I didn't get a gift.
It's coming.
I'm like, no pressure, you know.
Oh, my word.
It's a
This is so brilliant, actually. You know,
have to put it on.
This is. We need more things, devices like this.
You've got to
you
put
know.
that on. I'll take yours.
I'm sorry, I thought it was just an elastic band that comes around the bottom of your hat, bro.
Like one of those gondola rowers from Venice.
Italy, darling.
These are amazing, man.
Jimmy, there you go. So we made sure that it's nice and safe, that no hats go flying all over the place.
Thank you so much. It's incredible, man.
But moving on, let me take that away from you. You're also quite a, you know, a fitness kind of...
we need to know. You've actually lost quite a bit of weight, and we
Yes.
always want to know about how people lose weight. How have you done it?
Well, they are incredible.
We know that Kurt's chest dropped.
Yes.
I thought it was just me,
your
but
weight
thanks, cheers.
drop?
Look, I mean, for me, last year I started running just to kind of keep fit. I am on stage and I care about what I do. It's my passion, and part of that is looking the part, you know. And I think I just wanted to kind of also create a better stage presence for myself, be more confident within myself. So I started running, and that kind of extended itself to hiking. Then I got a personal trainer and lost about like between 17 and 19 kilograms. And I say between 17 and 19 because I pick up like +2, -2, like.
But is it important to you that you are a babe? I mean, obviously you've got a huge female audience and a huge female following. Being attractive, that's obviously part of your package.
Look, you know,
we're getting back onto the innuendo again. I like that.
Or Genie.
I was actually talking about the whole package this time.
Yeah, you know, it's extremely important, and I think more so about your inner confidence and how you perform and how it extends itself to your passion and what you do and how you make money. You know, it's a part of what I do.
But also your passion. I know you have, you know, kind of global aspirations. You see yourself moving all over the world. Are you doing that strategically? Are you doing that consciously every day?
Everything is strategic.
What are you putting into play at the moment that will hopefully, you know, land you up there with the Trevor Noahs of the world?
Yes, amen, Trevor, well done. Well, I think, you know, I got my degree last year, so now that that's out of the way, I'm full-time in the music scene, and I'm going to be in the States June, July this year, so that's going to be fun. But I think for me, I am constantly just working and trying to be as original as possible, trying to rep, you know, my international sound, but also keep that South African roots, you know, and so yeah, it's a work in progress, but we're moving in the right direction. Every year is a step closer to the dream.
That is fantastic.
Can I ask a question? I mean, the technology in your game has clearly kind of narrowed down the space of the planet. It's made it a very kind of global thing. Do you think things like YouTube and your access to the universe has kind of given you an edge on that kind of thing?
We already, I mean, I have so much contact with people in the States just from YouTube videos and social media. So absolutely, I mean, it's all playing a part in our favor.
Well, Jimmy, at only 22, the world is your oyster. Thank you so much for being here. Kurt and Jimmy are going to stick around with us right here in studio. But right now, let's check in with Bonnie, who's doing some revamping of old furniture, DIY style.
Thanks, B. Joining me now are our helpful hottie Tsepo, Tiana Fourie and Sharon van Rensburg of vintage retro furniture store, Apple and A. Did I say that right?
Is absolutely
Welcome to the show, ladies. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
You're going to take us through a process of transforming this Mboya chair into a funky, fresh show-off piece.
Mboya chairs or Mboya furniture is generally found in every South African home, and people just don't appreciate how gorgeous it can be after it's received a little bit of attention.
The operative word being can be.
Yes. Can be, yes. It's not exactly pretty as we see it right here. But it's incredible how one can make this look exquisite with a little bit of effort. Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to take this chair through a few, basically 2 or 3 different steps to end up with 2 different types of chairs, depending on which you prefer for your particular room or particular home. So we can use, we can either prepare and paint this tree, or we can sand it down to the natural and actually expose the real gorgeous emboya. Because emboya is not a dark wood, that's a fallacy.
Lovely texture.
The reason why we wanted to do that chair as well is because the current look that's coming in from overseas is natural wood with no sealers, no varnish. Yeah, no varnish, nothing, just the pure natural wood.
Okay, so what's the first step?
First step is sanding off all this horrible old varnish and stain that Granny has been oiling this chair for years and years and years.
Loads of love.
Yeah.
Right, and I see you've got 2 different textures of sandpaper.
We do. You start off with the coarser grain, just to make sure that you loosen all that horrible varnish.
Not an 80, but 100 grain, because an 80 is going to be too rough and it's going to leave marks on your wood.
I really want to know how to do this because I'm about this.
So Tepo's going to sand with the grain, never against the grain.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So next, after that, sanding's done. Thank you, Tepo.
After the first bit of sanding, you can see that it is rather rough. So then we would take the 220 and we would just sand it down a little bit, although just lightly, because you need space for your paint if you're going to be painting to grip. When you're done with that, a little cloth, some lukewarm water, and just give it a nice wash
With a bit of dishwashing liquid in as well, just to clean it off.
And you are ready for the next step.
Do you need to prime the wood at all before you start painting?
This is what we're doing now. It's not a primer.
It's not a primer.
It's an undercoat. Yeah, and we find the best is just a universal undercoat.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you are going to paint melamine or metal, you would need a primer. But for wood, you would need an undercoat. I mean, there are many different types of undercoats.
Yes.
As Sharon said, the universal is the best.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is just a little tip. We find it useful, so you're not washing and cleaning trays and brushes. Just cover your tray with foil, and then when you move on to your actual colour, you just replace the foil and just a clean roller, and off you go again.
That's a really handy tip because I've got a stack of trays that are just dirty that I don't know how to get clean.
Yeah. So then we start off with our undercoat. Basically, less is more with paint. Don't think that if you paint on a whole clump of paint that it's better. It's not better because you're going to get run marks in the paint and they're really difficult to get rid of.
Okay.
So you just generally, slowly, easy.
And a roller is better than any other type of paintbrush?
It is just so much easier to apply paint with because it doesn't leave the streaks that a paintbrush does, and it's so easy to clean.
Okay, awesome.
In this instance, we are going to be using a water-based paint as well. So everything is easy to clean. Next step would then be to apply the paint.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so what we would do, we're not going to do that right now, but you change your roller, you change your foil, and then you would use you can use a paint of any colour. In this case, we decided to use a charcoal grey because it is very hip and happening at this stage. And we decided to go with this upholstery fabric with a really nice, vibrant yellow in it. So, yeah, you can play.
This is our finished product?
This is the finished product, yes.
Depending on your preference, of course.
Absolutely, and of course, nowadays, it's also very fashionable to do a bit of a mix and match. So you could always do, if you have 6 dining chairs, for instance, do 4 of them in a paint of your colour or choice, and then the last 2 at the heads of the table could be in a natural wood.
Seppo, I hope you were listening carefully because you'll be helping me with this. Let's head back to the kitchen and see what Bee's up to with the tarts.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Those chairs look incredible. Hopefully, if you're watching right now, you feel a little bit more inspired. But I'm still back in the kitchen with Hannah, and we're making a delicious soup. But obviously, we need something tarty to accompany our soup, and we're making vine, tomato, and feta tart.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing.
What would we need for this, Hannah?
Well, I love to use the all-butter puff pastry. This is what makes it really quick and easy and super delicious.
Yeah, because I can imagine making this from scratch.
Yes, no. That is something that, yeah, you really have to have a passion for it and the time. But yeah, no, not so much. Peter, do you mind to? So basically, what I'm going to do, sorry, on that, you're jumping the gun. Basically, what I'm going to do is make beautiful strips out of this pastry. It's kind of like my version of like toast on steroids.
Love that.
So if you don't mind just making another 3 strips for me, that would be amazing. And then meanwhile, so basically, it needs to have kind of like a base to stay on. So if we're going to make like a ricotta and feta cheese spread. So you can just take like a punnet of ricotta and then add like a wheel of feta And I like to get a bit messy at this stage.
And you can use, obviously, any flavoured feta cheese, kind of black pepper, plain. It's
amazing.
Completely up to you.
Yes,
all right?
Totally. So really don't be afraid to get stuck in there. I know it's really good to like feel your food, very much like a Jamie Oliver kind of thing to say, but
I love
you know, when in Rome.
But Hannah, while you do that, I mean, you work at Taste Magazine, and it's your, responsibility to come up with all these delicious recipes.
Yeah.
Tell me a day in the life of a food stylist at Taste Magazine.
Well, it's quite amazing. I'm very lucky. I still can't believe that it's an actual job that pays my bills. But yeah, no, it's incredible. We work with an amazing team and for an amazing brand, Woolworths.
Yeah.
And yeah, we basically have to come up with concepts for every issue, and then recipes that are quite easy and like appealing to, well, you guys.
Your readers, exactly.
Yeah.
And recipes like this.
Yes, exactly. We want to kind of like give you a little bit of innovation, but also make it quick and easy and accessible.
All right.
So yeah,
a little bit of seasoning.
It's a challenge, but it's a good one. So basically, we'll just season that, and then we're just going to spread it onto the tarts at this stage. But I'm just thinking, just to help you, I think we should put it on this tray at this stage.
Let me move that for you.
If you don't mind to put those on there. And at this point, I'd also maybe put some beaten egg. Free-range eggs are amazing. I always have to promote that. So this kind of gives it a beautiful glossy finish and a golden color. So if you don't mind to carry on with that, you mustn't be afraid of it. Just imperfections are what makes it beautiful. I'm totally
love that.
all for that. And then if you want to add a dollop, if you want to get all, I know you're far too pretty to get messy in this kitchen. It's going to happen. So
let me tell you, I do not mind getting down and dirty.
You can just dot it like anywhere sporadically around. That's amazing, just like that.
Okay.
And then we're basically just going to spread it. It's perfect, like that.
Okay. And then when do the vine tomatoes go on?
Well, basically, these look, not only look amazing on the tart, but they also go nice and sweet and caramelized in the oven and blister beautifully.
Okay, so you just pop that on there?
Yes, and then I like to add a little bit of olives. Not everybody likes olives. My boyfriend hates them. So I'm not really allowed in the kitchen much at home, but it is beautiful with the softness of the feta and the ricotta. So, and then at this point, I like to just finish it off with a little bit of like a balsamic crema. It's just a bit thicker than your normal balsamic, so it doesn't go like all wet and soggy. And it just makes it a little bit sweet. And something like that, and then you just pop it into the oven.
Well, I can't wait to taste those. They look absolutely incredible. But Hannah and Peter, I'm gonna allow you to finish the task because we need the food. I can't wait. Make sure that you log on to www.afternoonexpress.co.za to get the full recipe and all the ingredients that you might need if you want to make this delicious dish. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We've got more with Kurt straight after the break.
Coming up, Jimmy Nevis performs his hit 776, and on the couch, vet Daniel Elkin talks rescue pets, and chiropractor Michelle Broadhurst gets animals back up and running.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on 3. Now, I have always wanted a little dog, and if you have two, then rescue is really the only way to go. We're now here with our resident our resident vet, Daniel Elkin, who can discuss, the challenges with having an abused or rescue pet. Welcome.
Thank you, glad to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. And we've also got some awesome little visitors. Jack is Kurt's 5-year-old son. He's here with baby Mia, who's also a rescue. Hi, yes, you want to come to me? Aww.
Jack, is Mia your dog? Because he's bigger than you. Can you control him?
Tell us a little bit more about Mia, Jack. What kind of a doggy is she?
FYI, I don't think all kids are this quiet. I doubt he is when he's at home.
But he does know that this is his best friend. They are inseparable. And yeah, they love each other a bit, so we're really chuffed to have her in our lives.
Kurt, before I throw the question to Daniel, I want to know a little bit more about, Mia. We understand she is a rescue puppy. She was abused by humans the first, I think, a year and a half of her life. And then she was rescued by an organization and went through like 5 foster homes in like 2 months.
Devastating.
How did you find her?
She went through lots of foster homes before we got her. We were lucky enough that the person running that organization lived pretty close to us, and she'd gotten desperate at one stage and went, please, because we had lost our Jack Russell the year before. He was like 19 years old. So, and we wanted to get a dog for Jack. And Mia came into our lives. You know, it was a little difficult at first, I must admit. Because she had some issues. She's been through about 5 or 6 families before that she ended up with us. But with a little perseverance and a little bit of dedication to the exercise, it's been a good... She's been with us for 3 years now, and she's the two of them are inseparable. So it's all worked out okay.
But now, Daniel, quite like humans, I'm sure that whole experience is pretty traumatizing for animals, being passed on from one foster home to the next. I mean, what impact does it really have on an animal?
You know, absolutely. I mean, firstly, I think for the owners, it's devastating to take on a pet and have to give it back. For the animal, though, it's horrible. Dogs ultimately are pack animals, and so they feel extremely, extremely insecure when they're being passed around from one pack to another and not being able to associate with the family and with the pack.
But what are some of the misconceptions when it comes to, you know, rescued animals for people who are looking for pets out there? What, you know, some questions and answers that you get?
There are so many misconceptions around these guys. What I see a lot of on a day-to-day basis is that people seem to think that a welfare or a rescued dog, because it's had a rough start, it's like invincible, you know. So people seem to think that they can leave it outside, you know, in the middle of winter, that it doesn't need a blanket, it can sleep on the floor, that it can get fed rubbish. I get a lot of clients who come in and they can't understand why the puppy has diarrhea when they fed it, you know, chicken leftovers from last week and some sour milk that they left out the fridge last night, you know. And they're like, oh, it's a street dog, you know, its tummy should be used to that. But once they've adjusted to the environment at home, they're as susceptible as any other dog to disease. And these guys actually, they often need a little bit more care and a little bit more attention than a happy, healthy puppy from a breeder.
But Kurt, I mean, you were saying she's moved from one family to the next. How did you acclimatize her to your family, your home, and Jack, and all new surroundings?
Against our better judgment, we are real pack animals, like Danny said. We try not to let them sleep in our beds, in our rooms. But soon enough they do, and they're part of the family. I reckon it's just good old-fashioned love and attention, you know. Yeah. Jack's presence, I think, had a big influence in it. We were chatting backstage, and Danny mentioned that this particular breed has a rather large maternal instinct. So she kind of adopted Jack, and then she sleeps in his bed. They're never more than 2 meters apart, and yeah, I think it's done well for her and him.
Speaking about the emotional impact on animals, I mean, just as Mia's so ingrained in this family, a lot of people often worry about the safety of children around dogs, especially if you don't know their background.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's something that you always have to bear in the back of your mind. Another misconception that there is out there is that all rescue animals with enough patience will eventually, you know, come right. And unfortunately, that isn't always the case. Some of these animals have been exposed to such hectic abuse and trauma that they may never come right, you know. And if it was a child that was abusing the dog, then that dog is always going to be unpredictable. And the trick really is to try and identify those trigger stimuli. So if you know that it is a child that triggers that, then you need to adjust the environment at home and make sure that the...
I think it's also quite important to note that was one of the biggest requisites we had, was that Jack was going to be safe around Mia. Yeah. And we kept a very close eye on that for the first year of Mia being around. Yeah. And, well, we still do, really. Yeah. And it's something that we always keep at the back of our minds. But at most, you come to our place, you might get licked to death. That's about it, you know. But
I mean, like any human being kind of changing, you know, environments, do animals, obviously they do have first-time jitters, you know, do they, I don't know,
do they need like a warming up phase?
Yeah, is there a phase?
You know, absolutely. I think if you're introducing an animal to a new home, the most important thing is that you make sure that that animal has a place of refuge. Okay. Somewhere with lots of blankets, lots of toys, somewhere kind of out of the way of the chaos of the household that they can escape to.
Now, Michelle, as an animal chiropractor, how does animal chiropractics differ from humans?
Good question. Very similar concept, really. we're naturally neuromusculoskeletal specialists. Whether we're dealing with humans or whether we're dealing with animals, it's really the same principle. So what we look for with the animals is really the same as we would look for in people. Are they limping? Is there a biomechanical change? Has there been a personality change? All those sorts of things that start to play a part is why is the animal unhappy?
You know, Michelle, what are some of the most common, you know, causes or reasons why an owner would bring an animal to you?
It can vary. It's really a scale.
Okay.
So it can vary from the slightest thing, a little limp, a cry when they were picked up or they jumped off a couch, right down to complete paralysis, really. We work very closely with the vets. It's not an individual thing. We definitely believe in a holistic and a cumulative treatment. So we work closely with the vets and we do a lot of diagnostics with them, and then we start with the treatment protocol working together.
And sometimes just stress as well. Like sometimes don't you want to go to the chiropractor just for a little bit of a rub down?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're going to give Mia a little chiropractic session now, just so that we can see how this would work.
Okay.
Sure, I think I might learn something, yeah.
Take it away and tell us exactly what you're doing step by step, please.
Okay, so when a dog would come in, we would get the owner to walk it or trot it out per se. So we're not going to do that now because that's not really necessary.
He's freaked out by a cameraman. It's his hair, darling. It's fine.
All right, carry on, Michelle.
Okay, so what we do is I'm going to ask her to hold Mia for me. And if you can just swing her around so that she's facing you.
There you go.
Yes, there we go.
This way.
And that's why we have treats, because we all believe in bribery and corruption.
Sit, Mia. Sit. Good girl. Good girl, Jack.
Okay, so the first thing we do is what we call motion palpation. So we're going to check her from top to bottom, see that everything's moving, and see what's not working optimally. Okay.
I want one of you.
And one to hold her head and one of you. Just like that. And let's get her bum up. There's a big girl. Okay. Hey. Thank you, Jack.
Oh,
just keep giving her loves, okay?
That's it.
And what does that do, Mish?
Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're just doing a general screening of her spine, okay, to see what is going on, if everything is moving as it should do, if there's anything that's stuck, and if there's anything blatantly obvious that we're having a dysfunction with. Okay.
Any points of pain.
Exactly. And any reactions. What she's doing now is she's just a little bit unsure. So she's just checking out. She obviously isn't used to being poked and prodded like this, as she's a first-time patient. So it's something that she needs to just get used to. There's no pain involved. It's really just a question of...
You can actually see her relaxing.
Yeah, she'll be cool. And she's a good girl.
And she's loving all the attention as well, clearly.
And now you're moving into her neck area.
Yeah, so we're just checking to see that every one of her cervical vertebrae are moving correctly.
Everything good so far?
So far, so good. She's a really healthy little girl. She has had some trouble in the past where she had a little surgery, but that's healed up beautifully. So she is a really good little specimen, actually.
Just looking at her eyes and wondering who did her makeup.
A little bit of eyeliner she has there.
She's so pretty.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for showing us a bit of what you do. I think
welcome.
We'd be here the whole entire afternoon if we had to, you know, take it step by step. But thank you, Kurt. Thank you very much for bringing your beautiful Jack.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for bringing Mia. Thank you, darling.
Thank you so much to Daniel for coming as well.
Jeannie, I want to leave them to do what they need to do, because the show needs to carry on. Bonnie's standing by with Jimmy.
So cute. But that's a tough act to follow, you've got to admit. I mean, chiropractic on a dog.
I'm telling you, it's intense.
But you shouldn't struggle, because this is one of my favorite songs, and I'll tell you why. It's obviously an intimate look back at your Athlone days.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of work with the community in Athlone, and I got so close to everybody there. So shout out ATL.
Shout out ATL.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Jimmy Nevis performing 7764 off his album The Masses. Enjoy.
7764, born and raised in this cold. Coke, cheese and crackers and a smile full of gold. Gets on Havana, do this what we wanna, we don't care. Oh, 1107, born and raised in my hometown. Guns out at the parties, guns out, man down. Dyson on my F1, blue lights, we on the run tonight. Hey, oh, I know where we're from, proud of our roots. My deeper manufactured, no China in these shoes. They call it heaven, they call it hell. I run the sound, shout out ATL, got me singing like oh, 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 oh. Got me singing like oh. Short skirts and all-stars and galaxies and band bars. Fireworks on the beach, Guy Fawkes in the streets. Same, but different and equal, equivalent. We are, you know where we're from, proud of our roots. My deeper manufactured, no China in these shoes. Oh, they call it heaven, they call it hell. I run this town, shout out ATL, got me singing like dee-da-dee, da-dee, da-dee, dee-da-dee, da-dee, 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 dee-dee-dee, da-dee, 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 da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Forget tomorrow and live for today. Roll up one love forever, ever. I don't understand the choices we make. Roll up one love forever and ever. Oh, 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 oh. We don't need your sympathy. We're different and that's okay. Oh, you know where we're from, this is who we are. Running this town, shout out ATL. You know where we're from, South Africa. This is who we are, yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy. That was absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
Coming up after the ad break, we join CHAMENDRAN NAIDOO, our resident doctor, who's going to talk to us about the dangers of self-diagnosing on Google, apart from the fact that it can drive you absolutely mad. And we pop over to the kitchen to see how far our butternut soup is. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. Now, a topic that I know will get a lot of us talking, so make sure that you're following us on Twitter and Facebook. Use our official hashtag on Twitter @AfternoonChat, and our hashtag is Afternoon Express. In studio, we do have our very sexy doctor, Dr. CHAMENDRAN NAIDOO, who's going to chat to us a little bit more about the dangers surrounding Dr. Google. And what we mean by Dr. Google is, of course, people who log onto search engines on the web and diagnose themselves. Welcome to the show.
We're all guilty of it.
Not me, never done it. So I'm really interested to see what you've been up to, Jeans.
I saw her just before we came in Googling. She's like, pain in the heels, pain in the heels. It was your high heels.
Yeah. Never. Not with these. Doesn't happen. Okay, tell us about the dangers of Dr. Google.
Well, the fact of the matter is healthcare costs are rising and access to information is it's so easy to have access to information. Everybody has access to information. I mean, hell, I even use Google for some of the weird things out there that you just don't see very common.
Really?
Yeah,
like?
yeah. You get your red herrings that your more rare conditions, so things like Lou Gehrig disease, the thing that Stephen Hawking has, you don't see that very common. Okay. So often, you know, it's a good thing to recap your memory as doctors. For patients, I absolutely love Google. It's good to educate your patients with. As soon as I diagnose a condition, I ask the patients to Google it so that they can be educated as well. An educated patient is a motivated patient. If you know what you have, you'd be more motivated to take your medication.
Exactly.
Now, with the good, unfortunately, comes the bad. Dun, dun, dun. Now, the bad things are when patients actually consult Google before they consult a doctor. When I say bad, it's not terrible. It's just that people aren't checking out the sources of information.
All right.
They say, they say 8 out of 10 people actually Google their symptoms. 8 out of 10. I know I don't, statistically. But actually, 3/4 of those people aren't actually checking the sources.
Okay.
So there's a lot of phony
Okay, well,
baloney
let's
people.
test it. Let's look at some examples.
Let's do that, yeah.
We're all online here.
So you need to...
2015.
We need to see what exactly
I don't know if I
everybody's...
want you seeing some of my
Okay,
search.
your history. While she does
the
that...
search history's interesting.
You make sure that you find us on Facebook and Twitter right now. And, you know, while Jeannie shows us a bit of examples, what have been the most common, let's say, illnesses or... I mean, the common flu, right? I can Google and say, you know, I've got a sniffy nose and my eyes are itchy. I mean, that's not very serious.
Now, that's the thing. Because
I'm going to try it.
No, wait, hold on. Now, we
itchy eyes.
are prone as humans to what's called availability bias. Things that are available in the media, we all think we have. So what's been going around? Ebola, isn't it? So everybody's like, oh, do I have... I've been seeing a lot of it.
You've got rhinitis.
What is that?
I don't know.
Not Ebola.
That's
not Ebola.
Yeah, you've got...
However, I've seen so many patients that came in, scratchy nose, scratchy eyes, a bit of the sniffles, and they've got rhinitis or they've got the flu, but they all think they have Ebola. Because they don't Google scratchy nose, scratchy eyes. They Google signs of Ebola. I've seen it. I don't want to get Ebola.
So your
signs of
search
Ebola.
has to be quite refined.
It has to be pretty refined, and you have to make sure that you're going to a good source as well.
But surely, if for something quite serious, you should really consult a doctor first and not Google. But for things like nutrition, diet information, even allergies at the very least, then surely Google can be okay.
Definitely, definitely. Look, it does have its place. And as I said, I love it when people are educated. An educated patient is a motivated patient. However, you need to be checking your sources.
Fantastic.
Let's see what Bunny's up to in the kitchen.
So, Hannah, those tarts, they smell amazing, and that smell is haunting me. Are they not ready yet?
Well, I think it's been about 15 minutes. Hey, Peter, so can you do the honors and get them out?
And is this the soup?
Yes.
We blended it up.
Yes,
it's
so
ready.
It's beautiful and smooth.
It smells divine. Look at that rich texture. Do you know what my favorite thing to do with soup is? Is to dish it up and then take a big spoon of cream and slap it in the middle of the bowl.
I like your style. It's definitely what we're going to be going for today. So we're just going to add it to the beautiful chickpeas and bacon that we did earlier. And then if you want to, you can do the honors with the... Well, I'll do this for you. Beautiful dollop.
Big dollop.
Big dollop.
Oh, yes.
Nice and beautiful there.
That
and then for some colour, if you do happen to have friends over in the middle of the week, just add a little bit of
like us.
micro-herbs. Gorgeous. Yes.
Well, Hannah, this looks incredible. I can't wait to dig in. Thank you so much for coming. If you want any of the ingredients or the recipe, very simple. Log on to our website, www.afternoonexpress.co.za.
Now, Bonang, you know, as TV presenters, they always try and say no carbs. Over my bread body. Thanks for joining us. Ciao.
Bye.
Tomorrow on Afternoon Express, Hip Hop Pansula is on the couch. A tikka chicken curry is in the pot. Miss S.A. Liesel Laurie is the queen of Pictionary. Red lips, smoky eyes and 60s sports style are all in. And folk artist Majozi is on guitar.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.